I've just edited my last video. If you've seen that video, you will know that I've been in such a rut, such a slump at the minute where I feel like I've not been able to do anything. It's felt like there's been so much resistance, and I got to a point where I was like, I am sick of this. Something needs to change. So I am feeling better now. Friday is now my evening that I have off because I used to work on a Friday night, but I've just decided that it was too much for me. I need time allocated in the week that is purely for me. Last Friday was a complete write-off because I was editing until about 8 p.m. so that was fun, and I thought to myself, I don't want to do that again today. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a mindset shift at the minute. I'm making the active decision to make my life easier and stop stressing myself out so much to the point where it feels like I want to be sick. Obviously, I am in a time in my life where I need to work a lot because I want to earn money. I want to have enough money to do this and to live a comfortable life and to go traveling. I'm going to Thailand at the end of the year, so I need enough money to do all the things that I want to do. But then when I think about that, ultimately that's my choice. So I can either make it really difficult to get there, create so much resistance and so much hardship in every single thing that I do, or I can just surrender, accept my circumstances, but then just think of a way to work smarter and not harder. So that's what we're doing. So I'm allowing myself to have a little bit of an unhinged day today. I've not even got ready for work. I'm working right now. I've just logged on, but like, this isn't actually a pajama top. This is like one of, I really like this top. I feel like it's cool. I've not even brushed my hair. I've not done anything. I'm just feeling unhinged and I'm here for it. I am embracing the fact that I'm a human being, and I will continue to do that from now on because listen, there is so much self-development content out there and it's amazing. I love it so much. It has really helped me through the hardest times of my life, having the internet to fall back on and give me advice. However, when you're going through certain phases of your life where you just can't relate to self-development and you can't relate to constantly wanting to improve yourself and be the best version of yourself, sometimes it's nice to just have a little corner of the internet where you can just feel accepted and heard and seen just for being a human being, just for getting up and having a day. Even if it's not a good day, just having a day. You don't always have to be self-improving and doing something. Sometimes you can just live. Sometimes you can have messy, down days and it's absolutely fine. I also think I'm feeling a little bit better today because, as you know, it's September now, it's fall. I'm ready for the cold nights. I'm ready for that cool autumnal breeze. I'm ready to start wearing cozier clothes and staying in a little bit more. But for some reason, the UK has decided to have a heat wave and I'm not here for it. Like, I love it. Well, I would love it if I wasn't fucking working, but I'm working, so I don't like it at all. I felt like a chicken yesterday, a cooped up little chicken who couldn't do anything, who was just looking out my window at the sunshine and being really sad and also really hot and bothered. But because it's a little bit foggy today, it's like cooler, foggy, I just feel like it's a little bit more on the level that I'm on right now, which is wanting to be chaotic and messy, okay? I don't think that makes any sense. Okay, I'm just making some breakfast right now because this is the first time I've eaten today. Is anyone else, like, when they come off the period, I've just been depressed for a whole week and now I seem to have just got this energy back and all the thoughts are rushing around in my brain and all the ideas and everything, and like I feel normal again. Like, that's so weird how I could be so depressed yesterday and now I feel fine. But I was just thinking to myself, I don't know, like, right, I'm 25 years old and I feel like I'm in between millennials and Gen Z. Even though I'm technically Gen Z, I'm in between. I genuinely feel like I'm not either of them because as much as I want to say that I am Gen Z, I feel like I identify with Gen Z more because like that's cooler, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's not cooler. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hanging on to my youth. But, and also I look crazy right now, but as a 25-year-old Gen Z who grew up with millennials but has to identify as a Gen Z, I get very conflicted and very confused of who I even am, and I know that I shouldn't have to put myself in a box because it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. I'm gonna boil the kettle. This might be noisy. But I feel like I'm on a really weird fence. I feel like my whole life consists of sitting on a fence, being in the middle. I am a middle child. If you was to see my birth chart, you would see that it is so conflicting because I'm a Gemini sun, which obviously, but then I'm an Aquarius moon and a Cancer rising. So like, it's just so conflicting. And anyway, I just feel like I'm constantly in the middle. I feel like I constantly don't feel like I've got an identity or anything really. Like, am I millennial? Like, I can relate to some millennial things. Like when you see the TikToks and it's like how millennials and Gen Zs and boomers are at work, I kind of get it. Like the complaining of the millennials and the obsession with like iced coffees and things that just bring them a little moment of joy, and the passive aggressiveness. Like, I feel like I can relate to that because like that is me a lot of the time. But then I so desperately want to fit in with who I actually am, Gen Z. I know it's not even that deep. Like, I don't need to fit in with anyone. I am myself. But sometimes it would be nice to feel like I fit into just something, fit into some kind of box. Not a box, but like just something. I don't know. And no one's ever, I don't hear people talking about this. And there are definitely, well, 100%, there are so many people my age who are Gen Z, millennial, like in the middle. We are Gen Z. But I don't know, like my boyfriend, he's a millennial. And like I grew up with older siblings and cousins and things. So I've got that side of me that has like controversial opinions. Not like controversial, like I am not right wing, but like sometimes like I listen to older people and I'm kind of like, I get it makes sense, but then like you shouldn't agree with certain things because that's not right in terms of being a Gen Z. I don't fucking know. I really can't explain it. I'm gonna make my tea. I'm making some jam on toast as well. I really should be getting back to work. I legit just said that I was getting a drink and I've been gone about 10 minutes. I do think I do have a bit of a Gen Z side to me where I just don't give a shit sometimes, but then sometimes I really do give a shit. Like too much of a shit. What is that about? It is lunch, finally. I feel like it's been the longest morning ever. Also, please excuse my hair. It's not even, like, it's a little bit greasy, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not that greasy. It looks greasier than what it is. I need to wash it again. I need to do something with this hair because it's getting so long and so ratty, but your girl is saving up. All of my money at the minute is going into business expenses, and that's the vibe that I'm on right now. Not that I want to be, well, I do want to be on that vibe, but like obviously I would rather be on the vibe of like spending money on myself, but this is just the phase of life that I'm in right now and I'm accepting it. So I'm gonna make some food. I might show you what I make. I probably won't because we have no food in the house. So we have eggs, but I've low-key got the egg ick now. I've eaten too many eggs, but ooh, I have some chicken sausages. Oh, I don't want those either. Does anyone else get the ick for breakfast foods? I genuinely don't want to eat breakfast foods anymore. Like I feel like I just want to eat a normal meal for breakfast. Like, you know, just a normal meal in the day. I love it because my boyfriend's family is Thai and they eat, like they have really normalized to me to eat savory things in the morning. Like, why do we not all do that? That is the way forward. That makes so much more sense. We shouldn't be eating sweet foods anyway in the morning because that's what spikes our blood sugar and makes us have crashes. And I was listening to a really interesting podcast about it and how our blood sugar, no, it's a story for another day, but it's basically about blood sugar. But it just makes so much more sense to eat savory things for breakfast and not like just eggs. Why are we, as like a Western culture, why are we limited to eating eggs for breakfast and eating like, I don't know, beans and yogurts and cereals and, do you know what I mean? Just typical Western breakfast foods. I'm not vibing with it. I don't like it. Sometimes I like it, but sometimes I like it in the day. I like it later on in the day or for lunch. Oh my god, I need to go and make some food now because this is what I mean. I was going to have the chicken sausages, but I don't know the best before date on them, and now I low-key don't want to eat them, especially after talking about breakfast ick. So I don't know what I'm going to eat. I'm probably going to end up not eating, which is bad. I've got some gherkins. Oh, no. I've just been to Tesco and done my girl evening shop. That is an essential to go to Tesco and get some snacks, maybe a nice candle, maybe some nice bubble bath, just all cute little things like that. So that was really fun. I didn't get a lot today. I just got one candle, shampoo and conditioner, and a body wash, which, oh my god, let me show you guys. I got this body wash, and if you don't know, get to know, because this body wash, Brazilian Love, and it's by Treacle Moon. It smells like the Bum Bum cream. The Bum Bum cream. You know the Brazilian, the Rio de Janeiro Brazilian Boom Boom cream. I think you say Boom Boom. It smells so good. I've got the moisturizer of that as well, so I'm gonna use that tonight. I got this because it was on offer. I got this candle because I feel like I need a different scent going on right now. I need something to clear the vibe. This smells so good. This smells like a spa. My salmon is in the air fryer, my rice is in the rice cooker, and I am just so excited for a nice self-care evening. I don't know why, but today I feel like I've got so much more energy, and I have just approached this day in a completely different manner. I've actually got quite a few things done, and for one, cleared out my bedroom because my bedroom was looking crazy. Even though I am in the middle of like a revamp, so I can kind of let myself off, but then I low-key can't because it was so messy. Like, there was no need for it to be that messy. I think I was just using the excuse that I was doing my bedroom as a reason for it being messy. But anyway, we move. Where is my drink? Tonight, we are starting a new chapter. We are turning a new page, and we're getting back on our grind because, well, not on our grind because, oh my god, trauma flashbacks. Not on our grind, we're getting back on our balance. That is all I'm gonna say. It's not all I'm gonna say. I just feel like I was either one extreme or another. I was either really, really on it with my routines and getting everything done and low-key burning myself out, or I would be too indulgent in self-care and doing all the things that I wanna do whenever I wanna do them. So striking a balance is actually so important for me, and that is the way that I find that I function the best. That is what we are going to do now. We're not getting back on the grind, but we kind of low-key are. The most elite dinner ever. Obviously I'm going to put some sauce on and like mix it, you know, you mash it and then you just eat. These are so good. Coming to a close. I don't feel like I've done the most tonight. Like, I've not done a really extensive evening routine or anything like that. I'm not really an evening routine kind of girl, so I don't really, not that I don't know how they work, like it's literally not that deep, but like I don't do them, so I don't necessarily have like any wellness or productivity tips for an evening routine. This is literally just me making myself incorporate self-care into my life, even if I'm so busy. And I think something that this past week has taught me is that no matter how busy you are, you always need to make time for yourself and for your wellness, for your mind, for your health, for your skin, for your hair, for how you look. It's so important, because if you're not filling your own cup first, it's so cliche, but you're not going to be showing up as your whole authentic self, and you're not going to be showing up in the world as the person who you need to be. And I was speaking to somebody recently who was giving me advice on the situation that I'm in, and she was saying basically how I need to give my energy back to myself, and then that will show on camera. And I was thinking, that really makes sense, and that sounds so obvious, but I truly just didn't even think about that. And I guess it's the same in life. If you're giving your energy back to yourself where you can, you're going to be able to portray that energy in your life and just in day-to-day situations, and people are going to feel that. People are going to see your energy radiating from you. And I know that when I'm actually pouring into my own cup and I'm putting myself first, I've got my morning routines, I feel like I've got my life together, I feel like I've got a purpose, and I feel fulfilled. I know that my aura radiates so far. I just know that people can feel my aura and people enjoy my presence. I can just feel it, and it's like an energetic exchange. And I was doing myself a disservice this past few weeks, just putting myself into this grind, busy, Google Calendar, nothing wrong with Google Calendar, but like this productivity spiral. And as much as I love productivity and I think that it is beneficial and it has a place, it always comes back to having balance. And when you don't have balance, everything else in your life seems to not have balance either, like in your health, in your moods, in everything. If you're too far on either side of the spectrum, so if you're having too much fun and overindulging, it's going to be the same situation. So I think just for me, it's that ongoing journey of learning how to have true balance. And I do think that I am better than how I used to be before, but yeah, it's just learning. I honestly, a couple of weeks ago, I was that girl who was telling myself, like, you don't have time to be doing self-care, really. You've got too much to do, you have goals to reach, ladders to be climbing. You cannot be wasting your time with having self-care evenings to watch Gilmore Girls or eat your favorite food and everything like that. What is life if we are not doing the things that we enjoy and the things that light us up? I went through a phase at like the start of the year where I was incorporating balance, but I was very much not listening to music. I wasn't listening to or watching certain programs, which I still think some programs I don't like to watch. Like, I don't really like to watch horror films anymore because of just the effects it has on my nervous system. Maybe sometimes I like it, especially coming up to Halloween, but I try to avoid horror films because I don't want to put my body through the stress and the panic and the fear. But yeah, I wasn't like listening to music or anything because I thought, well, I'm too busy, I don't want to get distracted by listening to music and then falling in that trap of kind of overindulging overindulging and over romanticizing, but just listening to music recently again has made me feel like, oh my god, I was sheltering myself so much, and I was avoiding certain music because I was thinking I don't want it to bring out a negative emotion in me. I don't want it to make me feel sad or take me back to a memory or take me back to a time or a place. But like, that is life, and if we hide away from all these things, if we stop listening to music, if we stop watching certain programs and really start tailoring our life so it's exactly how we want it to be so that we don't get triggered at all, we're just going to find that we are kind of low-key softening our skin a little bit. We're not hardening ourselves to life and what life can throw at us. And I know this seems a bit deep when it comes to just listening to music, but music has always had a very important place in my life, and for me to have just completely cut it out because I was thinking that I get too involved with it and I get too much in my feels with it. I don't know, now that I look back, like, I don't regret anything because everything is a learning curve, but I don't know, it's just made me realize that it's so easy to heal if you are just guarding yourself from everything in life, if you are just keeping yourself in a little bubble and thinking, well, I'm going to feel fine if I'm not listening to music that triggers me. Or even when you isolate yourself from people, I remember in my healing journey a couple of years ago, I completely isolated myself from everyone and I went into hermit mode, and I found that everything was so easy. It was so easy to stick to my routines. It was so easy to wake up at 5 a.m. and eat healthy foods and work towards my dreams and not be triggered. But then as soon as we got back into, or as soon as I got back into normal life, it just hit me again, like how many more things I actually needed to deal with and heal from, because the world, like, everyone in the world is a mirror essentially. So when you're actually out living your life, people are reflecting back to you things about yourself that you don't know about yourself. So yeah, I don't know where this tangent came from. I actually don't know how this started. I'm a little bit tired now. I'm gonna end this video here. I know it's not the typical, well, I don't even know what it's gonna look like yet, but I can imagine that it's maybe not the typical evening routine. Maybe it is, I don't know. I feel like I've not gotten enough clips for that, and like I've not really talked through what I've been doing, but I don't know, I really just wanted to express my gratitude right now, because yesterday I was in the trenches and all week really I was just feeling a little bit deflated and feeling a bit exhausted and like my life had to be so hard. But once you actually kind of take a step back and surrender a little bit, like when things are getting very resistant in your life and things don't seem to be working out no matter how hard you force it, sometimes those things aren't meant to be, and that's like what my whole last video was about. But I think sometimes you do need to take a step out of the situation to just look at it from an outsider's perspective and get some clarity on it, rather than being so obsessed with it and within it. Just zooming out a little bit and seeing the situation for what it is. And for me, the situation was that I was telling myself that my life needed to be hard and that I needed to show other people that I am worthy of success by working as hard as possible and making it be known that I am working myself into the ground, basically, which is what I was doing. Like, I was working essentially 3 jobs, which I still am now, but I've changed my perspective. I realized that I don't need to make it as difficult as what I was doing, and I realized that I was actually probably the reason that it was so hard. Don't get me wrong, it is difficult having to work 3 jobs, but that's just the phase of life that I'm in right now. And like, yes, it's difficult, but it's not as difficult as I was making it. I really was in my head about it and overthinking it to the point where it actually felt so much harder than it needed to feel. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys have an evening routine, and if you can give me any tips on evening routines and like how to incorporate maybe a daily evening routine, like something sustainable, because I do not have an evening routine. I've just never been an evening routine kind of girl, but I wish I was. I'm definitely more so of a morning routine girl, but if you have any tips for me, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'll speak to you next week.